In the school, there are many ways to earn respect. Some people do it with grades. Others do it with sports. And then there's you. You do it by fighting. Not in a gym. Not with gloves. Not with referees. In the street. It all started years ago when you realized something important. Most people don't know how to fight. And when someone doesn't know how to fight, confidence wins more fights than technique. The first time was outside a party. A guy bigger than you thought he could intimidate you. 2 minutes later, he was on the ground. Then came another fight, and another, and another. In parking lots, in parks, in alleyways, chaos, wild punches, people shouting around you. But it always ended the same way. You standing, them not. And after winning for long enough, something changes in your head. You start to believe you know how to fight. Not just a little, better than everyone. So when you start hearing the name of the new guy at school, you're not very impressed. They say he's a boxer, that he trains every day, that he competes, that he has technique. But in your head, there's only one thought. That doesn't work in a real fight. Because real fights don't have rules. Real fights are dirty, fast, unpredictable. Exactly the kind of fights you've been winning for years. So when you finally see him in the school courtyard, you decide to try something. You walk up to him. He doesn't look intimidating. He doesn't even look aggressive. He's just standing there, calm, talking to his friends. That almost makes you laugh, because in your experience, real fighters are always like that. Calm, until the fight starts. You ask him if he's the boxer everyone talks about. He says yes. No bragging, no attitude, just a calm answer. And that annoys you a little, because in your head, you already know how this should end. You tell him street fights are more real than boxing. Some students start getting closer. Phones start coming out. Now there's a circle forming. The boxer tries to ignore it at first. But you keep talking. You keep provoking him. Because in your mind, this is simple. You've won too many fights for a sport with rules to worry you. Finally, the boxer sighs. He doesn't look angry, just resigned. He says it's fine. And just like that, the circle gets bigger. Dozens of students around, all waiting to see what happens. And you're completely sure of one thing. This is just going to be another name on the list. Someone starts counting. 3, 2, 1. And you decide to do what you always do in street fights. Attack first. You throw a strong punch, fast, direct. But the boxer barely moves. He just tilts his head. Your punch cuts through the air. And then something happens that you didn't expect. A jab. Sharp. Precise. Your head moves slightly backward. It doesn't hurt much. But something feels strange. The speed. You take a step back. The crowd reacts. But you decide to ignore it. Because in your head there's still an easy explanation. Lucky shot. So you move forward again. More aggressive. More punches. More pressure. Exactly how you always fight in the street. But the boxer doesn't fall into chaos. He doesn't lose his calm. He doesn't rush. Jab. Again. Jab. Every punch small. Every punch precise. And suddenly you realize something uncomfortable. While you're fighting the way you always do, he seems to know exactly what you're doing. You try to close the distance. You throw the hardest punch so far. But the boxer sees it coming from far away. He slips it and responds. Jab, cross, hook. 3 punches. Fast, clean. For the first time in years, your balance disappears. The circle of students goes completely silent. You're breathing heavier now, because inside your head something is starting to break. The idea that you were always going to win, but your pride won't let you stop. So you go all in. One last attempt, a huge punch, all your strength, all your anger. But the boxer is already one step ahead. He slips, and lands a perfect punch. The ground appears beneath you. It wasn't a long fight, but it was enough. The students explode with noise around you. But when you look up, the boxer isn't celebrating. He isn't bragging. He doesn't raise his arms. He just looks at you, breathing calmly, and he extends his hand. He helps you up in front of everyone. And in that moment, you understand something you had never considered before. Fighting many times isn't the same as knowing how to fight. Because while you learned in chaos, he learned with discipline. You look around. Everyone is still watching, waiting for a reaction. So you just take a deep breath. You look at the boxer and accept something your pride would have never accepted before. Maybe the next fight should start in a gym.